Hey guys, what's up? This is The Point with Ana Kasparian. Obviously, I am not Anna, I'm Hannah Cranston, and I will be filling in for Anna while she is soaking up the sun in Costa Rica. And I'll be very, very jealous while she is doing so. We have a really, really great show for you guys. We have J-Lo could be facing jail time for just booty shaking. You could get birth control with just the click of a button. And we have a video from a motorcycle helmet, which is pretty appalling. But before we get to all of that, I want to introduce you guys to our great panelists. First, we have Robby Motz, who's the host of Equals 3. Welcome to the show.
Good to be back.
I know they're very familiar with all of you, so I'm like the newbie here.
Oh, wow.
I know. And then we have Sandra Daugherty, who is the host of Sex Nerd Sandra podcast. So I'm super excited. We have a really great show for you guys. First up, Ariana Grande is sick of questions about her relationship and love life, so she took to Twitter to air her grievances about questions about her relationships. So just to give you guys a quick backstory, Ariana Grande used to date Big Sean. And lately, she has been linked to One Direction singer Niall Horan. So there's a lot of speculation and talk in the media about this, and she just kind of got sick of it. She got over it. So she said to Twitter, "A girl can be friends with someone with a dick and not hop on it. I'm tired of needing to be linked to a guy. I'm not Big Sean's ex. I'm not Niall's new possible girl. I'm Ariana Grande."
Snap it out.
But she wasn't done there. She then wrote an essay, which she then posted to Twitter. So I'm not going to read you all of that, but I'll read you a little excerpt. She says, "I'm tired of living in a world where women are mostly referred to as a man's past, present, or future property/possession. I do not belong to anyone but myself, and neither do you. I can't wait to live in a world where people are not valued by who they're dating, married to, attached to, having sex with, or not, seen with, but by their value as an individual. I want the people reading this to know that they are more than enough on their own." So obviously she has a lot to say about double standards and misogyny in the media, but I want to hear what you guys have to say. So Robby, make your point.
Okay, so first of all, I think she's completely right. I think she's completely right to go off on this. We've actually dealt with this on Equals 3 a little bit. Our head writer, Kelly Landry, who's also now a host of her own show, when she first kind of came in front of the camera, everyone assumed that she was either fucking Ray or fucking me. And that was what the internet was full of, was just these comments of like, "Oh, you must be dating one of them. Are you dating one of those?" And I would get questions, "Are you hitting that?" Or to Ray, "Ray, are you tapping that?" And so, yeah, I completely back her up on this. It completely is a double standard, I think. When you see a woman, especially on camera, you assume like, "Oh, they must be getting backs, behind the scenes, something going on there." Yeah, I think she's right to do that.
No, right, and I totally agree. I mean, I host a show called Think Take on YouTube, and when I first came on, not as much now, they were all like, "Oh, you must be there because you fucked John." Like that was like the assumption. That's the only reason that you could possibly be doing this. But we'll get more into my double standard issues, but I want to hear Sandra, make your point.
This is a huge issue. I'd actually never thought of it as like somebody who's got 500 million views on some of her music videos. It's shocking to think that it's like when you think of somebody being the possession of someone else, I usually think of like sort of like a D celebrity where you're like, "Oh yeah, that person dated that A celebrity. Ha ha ha, that's how I know that person." But I really care about people not judging people by who they sleep with, because it doesn't matter if somebody's sleeping with their coworker or not. Are they professional? Are they doing their art? Are they giving it their all to their fans? So it bothers me not only that we judge women especially about who they sleep with, but that it matters. Point is that we should all be able to have the sex that we desire and not.
And who cares?
And who cares?
Yeah.
If it turns you on, that's your problem. Ha ha ha.
But I think even beyond that, I mean, at least for me, I think there's a lot of women who sometimes validate themselves from the attention from men. So I think it's great for her as a role model, as a 22-year-old, to be saying like, you don't need to, be considered as a possession or something like that to feel important and stuff like that. But I want to know from you guys the personal question: what double standards have you experienced, Sandra?
Okay, so actually, I've had a fairly privileged life in terms of how I go through the world. People actually treat me quite well in terms of my double standards. I mean, I have lost a few jobs because I wasn't a man, like in other industries. But since I've been a sex educator, the double standard that I find a lot is that men are considered to be not allowed to be sex educators because if they talk about sex, it's creepy. But if I talk about sex, it's totally fine. And I find that offensive because it means that we perceive all men to be just like gross sexual monster creatures and I'm just like a sweet girl who could talk about sex. And I'm like, oh, go put it in your butt, you know? So that's how I feel about that double standard. I think we need a lot more people talking about sex in a positive and healthy and respectable way.
Yeah.
And it can be anyone's gender.
I totally agree with you. Robby, what about you?
I honestly, very few. I've experienced very few double standards. But I am a middle child, so I'll say that I've experienced a double standard that both an older child and a younger child gets, which was growing up, that was really frustrating, you know, like, what, Jacob doesn't have to do that? Well, he's older, he's more responsible now, and, you know, like, what, how come she gets that? Well, you're older, so you don't need that. And it's like, oh, what do I get? So, like, that sort of middle child, you know, like, and honestly, like, that compared to the double standards that most people experience, it's like nothing. It's nothing at all. So, I've been very lucky and very privileged.
Yeah, definitely. I think for me, kind of going back to the YouTube, I've found that, like, in the comment section, if they disagree with John, it's like, this is why I disagree with you, because point A, point B, point B. If they disagree with me, it's like, you dumb slut. You know what I mean? There's
read the
definitely,
comments.
I know, but there's definitely a double standard when it comes to how they approach, I think, different people in the way that they communicate their opinions. But I want to know from you guys, what double standards have you faced, and what do you think about Ariana Grande's essay? Let us know in the comments down below, and we'll see you in the next one. So a BMW driver knocks a motorcyclist off his bike after being told to stop texting. The motorcyclist caught all of this on a camera that was posted on his helmet. Take a look.
Put down your fucking phone. You're in your car.
Okay, so that was completely horrific, and it just shows you how scary road rage can be. The motorcyclist Samuel Ayers has set up a crowdfunding campaign on donation2.com to help pay for his hospital bills. The BMW driver is being investigated, so he can actually not give him a reimbursement. Ayers says, aside from a significant amount of bumps and bruises, I suffered a severe concussion, bad enough for me to forget what day, month, and year it was, and knocking all memory of the past week out of my head. 2 hairline fractures in my left shoulder and a broken left foot, which would require surgery. So this is crazy. Texting driving is obviously very, very dangerous. I think we're all a little guilty of it from time to time. But I want to hear what you guys think about this video. Robby, make your point.
It's just appalling. I mean, you know, the texting and driving aside, just that sort of behavior of, you know, you did something I don't like, so I'm gonna maybe murder you, was basically what happened. And I think, you know, maybe they're able to find, you know, a license plate number or something like that, and hopefully find this guy, because there's no way that wouldn't be charged, that wouldn't be illegal, you know, like, so hopefully they do find him, but just, I mean, like, God, what the hell, you know, like, what the hell, you could have killed that guy.
And there's evidence on video. I mean, that's scary.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, seriously, Sandra, make your point.
I mean, I think about self-preservation here. We all have the urge to like speak up for something that bothers us. But in this case, I think, okay, good to know. If I'm on a motorcycle, don't talk angrily at a car that might be able to run me over later. Like that's something that just seems so like, oh, why did you open your mouth? Of course, the guy, he really, jackpot, got somebody who was being tried for criminal charges. Like, so that's why he can't pay up for the stuff.
Oh, interesting.
So for me, it's just, I think it's better just to not speak up around road rage. Like, I really think that people need to calm down. I think that there needs to be a lot more public education around driving and texting. I text, but maybe we'll get to that in a minute. But anyway, I don't know. I know that this kind of thing happens every once in a while.
Right. I mean, obviously the driver was in the wrong on all accounts, but it does show you that there are crazy people out there, and you shouldn't, provoke them by, yelling expletives and stuff when you're driving and stuff like that. But getting back to the texting and driving issue, are you guys comfortable with riding with somebody if they're texting and driving? Sandra?
Absolutely not. I have a very good friend that I'm in the car with every once in a while, and they text while they drive, but they do it in that oh, I can totally handle myself way, like kind of up near the drive, the windshield, like this, and I'm just like, and I don't know what to say because I don't want to be mean, but I feel like my life is in danger when it happens.
Right. What about you, Robby?
Yeah, I'm not at all comfortable. I'm the guy that if I'm in the passenger seat and they start texting, I'll be like, hey, I can text that for you.
Yes.
Like I become that guy. I'm like, hey, I'll be your thumbs. I'll text that for you. Just dictate. I'll type it, and they're like, no, I got it. And I'm like, but I could really make it easier for you. I just really could. Like I just keep pushing that. And I'm holding onto the little, like bar thing, like
that's gonna help a lot.
That's gonna help, obviously. But like I'm just like so nervous when that happens. I hate it. I'll still be in the car with people that do that, but I'm definitely not comfortable with it.
No, I definitely agree with you because I'll do it, and when I'm doing it, I'm in control, so like I'm fine-ish. But when somebody else does it, then I totally forget. Even flipping through music, I get when the other person's doing it. I'll just pick a song for you. I really like Beyonce. Let me just help you with that. But what about you guys? Are you comfortable with driving with somebody who's texting and driving? And what do you think about this appalling video? Let us know in the comments down below, and we'll see you in the next one. So Jennifer Lopez could face jail time for shaking her famous assets. The singer was recently in Morocco where she did a performance that was also aired on the 2M public network. Moroccan officials say that the singer's 2-hour performance disturbed public order and tarnished women's honor and respect. So let's take a look at the booty shaking that caused said public chaos. So as we know, Morocco is a primarily Islamic country, and the Prime Minister is launching an investigation. If J-Lo is charged, she could face up to 2 years in prison. They're also asking for the Minister of Communication to step down since he allowed this to be on the air. J-Lo has performed in Morocco, but this is the first time that it is was on public television. In other countries that are more conservative, when she was in Indonesia, she was asked to dress more modestly and cover up, and obviously those expectations weren't set for this concert. But I want to know what you guys think about this. Sandra, make your point.
I think it's unacceptable that they hold her accountable for what they knew they were getting into. I get asking the communication person to step down, but you don't threaten the person doing their job that they're going to go to jail because they're doing their job. Like that's just not cool. I feel like they're just trying to make a point to tell women to cover up their bodies and they're not allowed to be sexual or express themselves at all. I think that they're trying to make
they're trying to make an example out of her almost for the community at large. Robby, what do you think about this?
I think I agree with you on that. Like, it's not on her at all. It's not like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that she would be dancing like that. It's like, well, the person who booked her should be the one responsible for these things, not the woman herself, not the performer.
Right.
So I think you're right. I think in a lot of ways it's just like, the woman did wrong here by being this out there by being
Right.
this revealed. And you know, God, what just a difference in culture, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like here we would, you know, we'd be like, what? No, it's what
Right.
you do.
Right, we have such a bootylicious culture here
We
that
do,
it
you
seems
know?
so ridiculous for us. But I definitely think that when you do go to different countries and you're experiencing different cultures and customs and stuff like that, you have to be somewhat respectable of that. But I'm sure if she had known some of
don't think
these,
it's
she
on
would have.
J.Lo
Yeah, I don't
herself.
think it's on her either. I was in Hungary actually, and I saw Britney Spears, and which was like the most surreal experience ever. But you weren't allowed to sing or dance while you couldn't
Wow.
you couldn't even stand up during the concert. So a lot of different countries have rules when it comes to these, and I think artists have these expectations, whatever. But it definitely should not be on J.Lo. But I want to know from you guys, when it comes to your secret talents, like J.Lo's booty shaking, what do you have, Robby? Let's hear it from you first.
Well, okay, I can. I have a really long neck, right? Okay, so I found out one day, like a xylophone, I can
Wow.
do that. Yeah, like the, you know, like the Animal House guy. That.
Wait, that's incredible.
Yeah, so like a little xylophone.
Can you play songs? This is the most incredible
Did you hear?
experience
Do
of
you
my
guys know
life.
what that is? That was Hakuna Matata. Okay. Anyway, you can play that back and listen for it. But,
That's amazing.
Yeah,
I am entertained.
There'll
Okay,
be little
let's
welts
see
on
if
my
you
neck.
can
I
beat
no,
that. I don't know.
absolutely not. No, it's difficult. I can sort of half-ass a lot of things, but I studied belly dance for several years.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, I've got that in my system.
Okay.
No, you're not going to get any right now.
That's so funny. So I have to admit that I have a secret talent that is similar to Miss Lopez's. I can booty shake a little. I have won 1 or 2 contests in Cabo, Mexico, but that's all I'm going to say from there. But I want to know from you guys what your secret talent is, and do you think it's J.Lo's fault for booty shaking, or do you think Morocco should talk to their public television director? Let us know in the comments down below, and we'll see you in the next one. So a new blood test could reveal every virus you've ever had. So the creator of this blood test, Stephen Elledge of Harvard Medical School, created this test that will scan your body for 1,000 strains of viruses from 206 species for only $25. You might be wondering why you would want to know what viruses you've had in the past, but they're looking for a link between certain infections and cancer. So this is actually really, really important. So Elledge tested more than 500 young and old people in the US, Thailand, South Africa, and Peru. They found that on average, those people had been exposed to 10 virus species in their lives. 2 of those tested had been exposed to as many as 84 virus species. So a lot of the times you will have certain viruses in your body and they'll lay dormant and you won't necessarily see symptoms, but they can be connected to other diseases and other infections that can show up later. This is pretty crazy, I guess, in the medical world. I want to hear what you guys think about it. Sandra, make your point.
Oh yeah, bring on the future. I'm a big sci-fi fan. Like this is the start of something big. No, this is great. I can't wait. I want the test right now.
Okay.
Like, do you have anyone in?
Yeah, let's call in the test. Robby, what's your point?
Yeah, I think it's super cool. I think also the applications for this are really, really interesting. You can find out maybe what viruses are more prevalent in what areas and things like that, and do you can track viruses now in a way that you wouldn't be able to before.
Yeah.
So I just and also just like personally knowing like how many viruses have I had? Like that. First of all, it's a little scary. I'd be like, oh God, I could have died maybe. But like, what a cool thing. What a cool
Right.
thing to just know what your body's been through, I think.
Right. So the way that it works currently is that when you want to see if you had a virus, you have to have a separate test for each specific virus. So this, for me, is amazing because it just kind of reduces all these obstacles there is to medicine. It makes it a lot more efficient. So I think that's super beneficial. But I want to know from you guys, if there was a blood test to reveal your best and worst traits, what would they be, Robby?
Okay, so I think my best trait would be I can keep calm under pressure pretty well. So if I'm in like an emotional circumstance, I'm able to kind of just like let that hit me and then not react immediately off of that. And I can kind of, be empathetic towards the other person and be like, I see that you're angry and that's probably not because of me or whatever.
Yeah.
So I like that about myself. I think that's a very good trait of me. My worst trait is my apathy. I can be very apathetic or just bored, I guess. So I stop working on something because I grow apathetic. I'm like, is it really that great anyway? No, I'll just sit here and watch Netflix instead of working on whatever I need to be working on. So I think that's my worst trait. That seems to sneak up on me as I end up getting really comfortable. So
Interesting. What about you, Sandra?
Oh man, it's a tough question. I would say curiosity is probably going to be my best trait. I feel really proud of that and the passion that comes along with it. My worst trait would probably be my low self-confidence.
I would not expect that from you at all.
I mean, like, it's not just like across the board low self-confidence, but like I have a long history of depression, and so just kind of there's a bummer, there's a little curled up sad version of me inside. Just
sometimes it comes out. And
sometimes it comes out and goes, yeah.
But that's a scary sad version if it's coming out like that.
I know.
Mine's definitely very similar to yours, Robby. For me, I think they're almost the same. I'm a very empathetic and sensitive person, so I think that makes me a very good friend. But I think that empathy and sensitivity can also be a negative because I'm very sensitive. I like talking big talk, but I'm really sensitive, so I'll go home and be like, oh,
comments.
No, I know, it's the worst. It's the worst. But I want to know from you guys, if there was a blood test to reveal your best and worst trait, what would it say? Let us know in the comments down below, and we'll see you in the next one. So there's a new app out there that is giving women easier access to birth control. It's called PolkaDoc. Basically, for women who are on birth control, it's kind of a pain to have to, refill your prescription every 6 to 12 months. Now, this new app here is $15, and you can use it to schedule an e-visit with a doctor. All it does is requires an ID and a video of you recording yourself saying your name. You fill out a questionnaire, basically just to assess if you can safely take the medication, and then you can have your prescription sent to any pharmacy in California. And the cool thing about it is that it doesn't require health insurance or citizenship, which is really nice. And California is taking it to the next step and making access to birth control even easier by saying that you don't need a doctor's, prescription anymore. You can just go to the pharmacy in one visit, get your prescription, wait, 15 minutes maybe, and then you have your birth control. So this is helping a lot of women, especially if you move to a new state and you don't want to wait to, get a new doctor, or if you forget to refill. This allows you to kind of circumpass, unintended pregnancies. Sandra, what do you think about this? Make your point.
Oh, it's hands down amazing. It's fantastic that this is available. To me, though, as a sex ed professional, this doesn't go far enough. I mean, access to birth control and contraceptives is one of the human rights that I believe in. So, also the pill, sorry to say, it's one of the least effective forms of birth control. Right there with condoms. They're okay, but when we talk about the patch or the IUD, those get even more effective. So it's a great start, and I'm glad we're going in this direction, but it's not enough to me.
Yeah, just to add on to that, the patch and IUD are also part of the app, so that's good too. So that's a win.
All right.
Robby, make your point.
I had no idea it was that hard to get birth control pills.
Right.
Being a man, that just wasn't on my radar. So when I was hearing about the new law that California passed, I was like, oh, it wasn't that before. That just seemed so. Wow, I had no idea it was that hard to do that. So yeah, thank God that we're taking steps. I'm really happy to see an app like this. You describing it, I was like, that's easier than it was before. I was like, oh my God, what was it before? So I think this is great. I think hopefully we'll see more of free access to these things.
Yeah, and just to kind of put this more in perspective, that the U.S. has the highest rate of unintended pregnancies than most other developed countries, which is pretty crazy when you think about it, because of these kind of crazy obstacles we have to take to get birth control and to even talk about contraceptives. But I'm really excited for the personal question. So it says, if a birth control pill for men becomes available, would you rather be responsible for taking the pill, or would it be your partner's responsibility? Sandra.
Okay, so the most effective types of birth control are when you're doing more than one. That's what they teach teenagers in Amsterdam, and it's a really smart thing to do. So I would say that both partners take the pill because it's easy enough for you to mess up, not take your pill. I've known people who've had babies when they were taking the pill, so both partners. Boom.
Boom. I love it. All right, Robby, what about you?
Yeah, I'm on board with that. I think, at first I was like, maybe we could like switch off or something. But I mean, why not do both of you at the same time? As long as it's not overly expensive, that would be my concern. But yeah, why not? It's the same time of day. Okay, great. We're both kind of there we go. Okay, it's like a little moment.
Oh, yes, you could make it romantic. That is beautiful.
Exactly. Yeah.
Aw, synchronized
Little
pill
after-dinner
taking. No, I agree with both of you. I think it should be everyone's responsibility. I don't think the onus should be on one partner or the other. I think if you both don't want to have kids, then you should both be doing the responsible thing to not do so. But I want to know from you guys, do you think it's one partner's responsibility over the other? Leave it in the comments down below, and we'll see you in the next one. So a YouTuber conducts a social experiment to show you just how easy it is to slip rape drugs into girls' drinks. Let's take a look at the video.
I have some autograph. Just watch my drink.
Okay. That was completely different. It was a different atmosphere. Never been there. No, it's definitely such a nice view, right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
It is.
I wouldn't drink that drink if I was you.
Why not?
Because I just put a pill in it.
So, hi,
What's your name?
Leo.
I'm Joe.
Nice to meet you.
So, what are you doing here all alone?
Waiting for my friends actually.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Are they on their way?
Yeah, they should be coming anytime soon. I don't know. I texted her, just waiting on her response. Yeah.
That's cool. I wouldn't drink that if I was you.
Why?
Because I just drugged it.
Yeah.
Right over what? Weather was good. No problem.
No, I was just telling him about...
Don't drink that.
Why?
Because your friend wasn't watching, I was able to slip a drug into your drink.
You kidding me?
I didn't do it for real. We got cameras set up, and I'm doing an experiment to show how easy it is to drug a girl.
All right, so the YouTuber there is Joey Salads, and he's basically just showing how easy it is to slip GHB in girls' drinks at bars. I have a lot of issues with this video, but before we get to my issues, I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are. Robby, make your point.
I think it's an interesting video. I think doing any of those social experiment things, or prank videos, I kind of have a little bit of an issue with them. Like, you're bothering people. But I think it does make a really good point that we don't, you don't think about it, of course. You don't think about how easy that is. And just like his sleight of hand is so, obviously he's not like a trained magician, where he's like, doing something amazing. He just, boom, there you go.
Yeah.
And so I think that's something that we should keep in mind. I think also big thing is then to be with friends when you go out, to not be alone if you're going to be in a drinking environment like that. Because I mean, there's a certain point when you kind of can't prevent someone maybe from drugging it, but you can prevent anything afterwards. You can have somebody looking after you, maybe.
Right, totally.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
What to do in that situation.
Yeah, it's a tough situation. Sandra, make your point.
Ooh, it's so creepy. It's just creepy watching the video. I mean, it's really kind of gross, but I also appreciate that I've needed a reminder. I mean, it's been a while since I've gone through the whole hey, ladies, watch your drinks. And it's like, oh, right, I need to watch my drinks better. That's true, because I'll kind of leave my drink and be like, whatever, it's fine. And it's like, oh, now the next time I'm out, I'll probably be better about it. So it's taught me something. And I think that the creepiness and awfulness of watching a video like that, I think, is part of why it's effective.
Yeah.
It's like, you're not supposed to feel good watching that video. And if you do, stop it. Yeah.
No, I agree with you. There's definitely a lot to be learned, but I had a total different takeaway from this video than both of you. Yeah, so I watched it, and he, in the full video, he tells, I'm just showing you how easy it is, like carelessness. When you looked away, I slipped it. No, it's not the girl's fault. It's not the friend's fault for looking away. It's your fault for putting a freaking drug in somebody's drink. It's not about like being more careful. No, we need to start teaching people not to slip drugs. We shouldn't have an instructional video to show how easy it is to slip girls drugs in their drinks. We should start having instructional videos how not to be sickos.
Very
like,
good
I'm
point.
sorry, that's my takeaway. I was so creeped out by this video. I thought he was trying, he was trying to do like, oh, look at me, I'm being, so great. But at the same time, he was being creepy. He's like, your carelessness. He kept saying carelessness. I'm like, no, it's not carelessness. A lot of us are super educated about watching our drinks, and in a lot of cases, sometimes, I've found out in bars in LA that people are paying bartenders to do it. And at that point, you're fucked. There's nothing you can do. It's not about being careless. It's about these creepy people who are doing this. Okay, that's all I have to say.
That's great. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying it.
Yeah, but I want to know from you guys, what's an important life lesson that you've learned the hard way, Robby?
Okay, so this takes me back. I was on a first date with a girl, and I was trying to be impressive, spontaneous. I don't know.
Okay.
But I wanted to be fun, right? I wanted to be fun and spontaneous. It was raining
This
outside.
is fun.
This is fun. That's the kind of guy I am. I'm like, this is the first date. And so it was raining, and I thought for some reason, I was joking around, we passed by like this Kung Fu studio. I was like, yeah, man, I took some Kung Fu at one point. She's like, yeah, well, show me a move. I was like, all right. So I jumped to do like a kick, and I slip on my ass in the rain. So now I'm soaked because we're on a sidewalk. Everyone, like there's lots of people around.
Oh my
and I just
God.
slowly get up and hurt on my, and so that was a lesson learned the hard way.
Literally on hard sidewalk.
hard sidewalk.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Sandra, what about you?
Oh man, I hate going after Robby. Because you're really funny, and this is I'm like all sad about. For me, life is just a series of difficult lessons. It feels like, but STDs actually, because I was on Think Tank the day I got the call that I had HPV. Which is okay, and even though I got some comments of like, that's not okay, it's like, it's gonna be fine. But just, you can be as careful, I am so careful, and yet I got the HPV virus on the cervix, so it's
And you're
the
so
cancer
educated,
kind.
yeah.
And I'm so educated. And it's, I think, so often, people act like, oh, if you have a STD, you must be dirty or irresponsible or unattractive, or there's something where anyone can get it, and it's not. It can be a big deal, but if you take care of yourself after you get your diagnosis, it's going to be okay. And so I've had to just sort of take better care of myself around, screenings and things. I don't know. It's just that was a hard lesson, but I joined the ranks of people who need to. Be aware of their HPV.
Right. No, exactly. And good thing that you were on top of it. For me, actually, so my mom actually works at a rape crisis center. So ever since I was like 7, my mom's, watch your juice box at that party. I know I've been told from such a young age to watch my drinks and be really cognizant of how I'm carrying myself at parties and stuff like that. But I've actually been roofied twice. Wow. I was totally fine. I was with my friends, and I recognized the symptoms, actually. So I was like, you know what, something is not right. Like, take me home. And I was fine and whatever. But I'm so careful, and I've been roofied twice. Once in college, and then once at a very well-known bar, like a cool bar in LA. And I always make sure I watch my drink from the bartender. I'm really careful, and it still could happen to you. So it's kind of similar to what you were saying, Sandra, where is no matter how much you know and how careful you are and stuff like that, it can still happen to you. So that's definitely a lesson that I learned the hard way. But I want to know from you guys, what lessons have you learned the hard way? Let us know in the comments down below. Also, do you agree with me that this video was a little creepy, or do you think he was doing something to help society? Let us know, and we'll see you in the next one. All right, so that's all for The Point. I'm Hannah Cranston. You can watch me every day on youtube.com/thinktank. Follow me on Twitter @HannahCranston_ and on Instagram @run_HMC. Don't worry though, Anna will be back next week. Thank you for all of these guests, lovely, lovely guests, for being on the show today. Robbie, where can they find you?
All right, so you can find me on Ray William Johnson's channel. I'm on the show Equals 3. It says right there. I'm on Twitter at Robby Motz or Instagram at Robby.b.Motz because someone took at Robby Motz. Yeah, it happens. And you can also find me on my personal channel, youtube.com/RobbyTheMotz. So there we go.
What about you, Sasha?
Let's see, Sex Nerd Sandra all over the world. So on Twitter, Sex Nerd Sandra, Facebook, come say hi. But really, listen to my podcast. It's a topic every week, almost 200 episodes.
Awesome.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
amazing. What a rock star.
What are you doing for 200?
Oh, I don't know. Drinking a
Pressure's
pina
on.
colada.
All right, thank you guys so much for being here, and thank you guys for watching. We'll see you soon.